One of the things I like to do is go and watch old games just to break down, whatever's going on in the game. Here we have the Lakers and the Celtics back in 2016. Uh, they ran a lot. Excuse me. Lakers and the Celtics. They ran a lot of pick and rolls for Isaiah Thomas, and I know coaches all the time are trying to talk about how to cover ball screens. Do we cover it this way? Do we cover it that way? But a lot of it has to do with who you're guarding. So Isaiah Thomas is a 3-point threat. He's a mid range threat, and he can get to the basket. So you have to play the percentages with him, and you also have to keep him off balance, meaning not give him the same coverages over and over. He's going to figure it out. So here, uh, he kind of runs into the screen. The post is sagging off, or whoever's guarding 99, they're sagging off. So their strategy is to go over this screen as to not give Isaiah Thomas the 3-point shot. And then whoever's guarding 99 is sagging back to try to force Isaiah into a mid range shot. You see they're clogging the lane, not giving up a layup. And, they're saying, hey, if you pitch it back to this guy, then, that's the shot we're going to give you. So Isaiah on the mid range or the kickback for the 3-pointer to the screener. So in this instance, Isaiah hesitates and he gets to the rim. So a lot of times, you'll have coaches, uh, yelling at the guard that they didn't get over the screen fast enough. Um, and you also have, uh, some coaches will say, post player has to do a better job. You see, they sort of have a staggered screen here. So these two guys get mixed up. I think Kobe's guarding here. So Randall would be guarding the second screener, which means he'd be responsible, um, for the drive. And he just doesn't react quick enough, So instead of sliding over and forcing Isaiah to take the mid range, Isaiah gets to the basket. This guy's holding the corner, so he's not going to help off. And then he stabs and stays outside to take away Sullinger. So Isaiah gets the layup here, and they follow up with the offensive rebound. And the Lakers come down the floor. You have ball reversal here. So now you have a ball reversal on another ball screen. Again, you have coverage choices. Okay, so they this guy doesn't give. He's hugging here, so that's like a squeeze. So he's supposed to go under, but he doesn't get deep enough. Isaiah doesn't get deep enough, so he's sort of thrown off balance, which gives this guy room to read and make a decision. So he takes the pull up jumper. Isaiah runs it, even though you're not trying to take away the jumper, but you don't want to give a wide open shot. But these two guys didn't communicate, so you have traffic there, and in the very next possession for Boston, they're going screen and roll in transition. Again, you have to have a coverage call. In this situation, Sullinger is setting the perimeter screen for Isaiah. The guard guarding Isaiah has to make a decision. He goes over the top. Again, strategy is force Isaiah into a mid-range jump shot. The post player that's guarding Sullinger does a good job of giving ground. See, when you give ground like that, then you do give him an extra second to make a read, but you don't give him a driving layup. In this situation, they pitched it back to Sullinger. That's the shot. What 30 should be doing is jabbing here, Julius Randle. But you see, he's not really giving great effort there. So instead of jabbing here and giving this guy an extra second to recover, Sullinger steps into a clean look there, and he doesn't make it. But the other thing I like about uh, this coverage against Isaiah is I don't know what this guy's name is, but he does a good job of giving ground. See, he's moving. He doesn't have his feet planted here. Isaiah will just go around him, so he's giving ground. So he forces that shot, and then he closes out to contest Sullinger on a jump shot. So good strategy in terms of coverage there. would like to see them playing a little bit harder, but it's the NBA. We know those guys aren't gonna. So here, one of the things that I like about this is you have an elbow entry. On most passes, we're telling defenders to jump to the ball, jump to the ball. In this situation, I like that he's holding contact here because if you separate by jumping to the ball, then you're giving this guy a free path. He can go, left, right, or whichever. But by holding him, maintaining contact, then you're gonna make that handoff difficult. So now he goes to the outside. This defender can pivot that way and make that handoff difficult. And then Kobe comes up and he's gonna ISO. Now so one of the things that every coach preaches is being on this wall. Okay, so that's why Boston is a well-coached team. You have 99 guarding Kobe one-on-one. Isaiah's in help, and then you have 3 guys in the paint. Which this guy in the NBA, we don't want to get into that, but you can't stay in the paint. But you can see him with the cutter going through. You're allowed some leeway there until he makes a decision, and then you force Kobe into a pull-up jumper, which there's nothing you're gonna do about that if he's knocking it down. Next possession down the floor, we're going ball reversal, a little curl, handoff action. Now, even though this is not a ball screen, okay, you're making a decision on Isaiah as to how you're gonna guard him. Whether it's a pick and roll or a handoff, you have to decide whether you're gonna go under or over or switch it or whatever. But in this case, he goes under, okay, and Isaiah makes the quick kick. So for Isaiah, because the first 2 possessions they had gone over, he's probably either thinking I'm just going to run offense right here, or I'm just not anticipating having a open look behind this handoff screen right here. So he reverses the ball, and we get a backdoor ball reversal, and then a third ball screen, which some more and more people are doing this, where on this ball reversal it's a screen look, but then it's almost a slip. Like he's starting to dive to the basket, and then Kobe's having to make a choice whether he's going to switch or close out on 99. And then because they're playing show and little defense, we call it show little, where the post stays back and the guard goes over or under. Kobe does a good job of fighting over that and then getting a hand up for a contested jump shot there. So you can see how many, we're at 10:33 in the first quarter, and we've talked ball screen coverages, 3 times down the floor already. Now here's another situation where you're talking about IQ here. So now Kobe is setting. You'll see this screen a lot where you have this first wing down that's setting a wing ball screen, sending the offensive player towards the baseline. So here you can see Isaiah's trying to fight over the screen, but then it kind of turns into an ice situation because 99 is holding Kobe to the inside, but he's playing the ice. And then he comes off of Kobe, which at that point, it can get a little bit confusing. Are we switching? Are we holding on the ice? You can tell Isaiah reads this, that he's sort of being contained here. So he goes from an ice situation into a switch. Okay, so he allows Crowder, his name is Crowder. He allows Crowder to take the ball, and then Isaiah jumps back on Kobe. The good thing about Boston and any team, you're looking for defenders who are always trying to make a play on the defensive end and not just relax on the help side. Here you see this guy in a running stance. Because they were in ice, he's getting ready to rotate over, and either he's going to stab at Kobe and give Isaiah a chance to get back, or he's going to fully take Kobe, and then these guys on the backside have to scramble. Isaiah has to come out of that trap, or Crowder has to come out of that and then match up. Sullinger, again, there's a reason why, I think certain guys struggle to get minutes. It's a play like this. He could have easily denied that. He's got a help side, made that pass a little bit tougher. But then you allow that pass to come. He walled up pretty good and made a tough shot. But you want to try to make that pass a little bit tougher. Now we're back in transition. Another ball screen for Isaiah Thomas. They're in the show little coverage, which means whoever's guarding this guy, you can say it's the forward or trail post, or however. They're going to stay back, and then he's going to make a decision to go over. You go over, you're taking away the jump shot, post staying back, also forcing this guard into a jump shot, and they're saying they're going to give up the kick out three if it's a pick and pop right here. Now, what I was talking about earlier is that the post job, again, Julius Randle, is to contain the dribbler. This guy has to do a good job of fighting to get back, but in this situation, Randle gets his feet parallel. He doesn't give ground. Then Isaiah is going to go by him or draw the foul and get to the free throw line. So it's important as a post player you understand how to cover your responsibility. You don't want to give up a layup in that situation. If he's making a mid-range jump shot, then that's a coverage issue. But you can't give up layups in that situation when your role is to stay between the ball and the basket.